Welcome to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. Are you evaluating your career in real estate? Feel like you're ready for a fresh start? Or ready to take your career to the next level? This is your podcast. Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. I'm Meredith Fogel here again with Alicia Soikawa and Deborah Morden. Thanks for being here, guys. So we're laughing a little bit because just pre-show here, we were talking about what we're about to talk to you guys about. And I was like, hold on, we got to capture this because they were dropping such good stuff. So hopefully we can recreate some of that right now. And what we were talking about is kind of the journey that happens. I wrote down, you guys remember that Miley Cyrus song, The Climb? So for those who are younger than when Miley Cyrus was popular, it's about the fact that like it's not about the destination, it's the climb, right? It's like the journey that you go on to get where you're going, and how sometimes that journey can feel rough, especially when you're a newer agent, and sometimes when you feel like you've worked really, really hard, you're doing all the things that we are telling you to do and that everyone says you should do. You're making the calls, you're having the conversations, you're doing the marketing, you're asking all the questions, you practice your scripts, you're putting all those things into place, and you get a couple of hard knocks, right? Like, for example, maybe you've got an appointment scheduled and the person cancels on you, or you have a good conversation, the person starts to ghost you. That's tough. Or you have one that's like a near win, and all of a sudden it doesn't happen. I had one of my agents this week had one where it was almost a listing, and then it was the person said, you know what, we're gonna wait. And she actually had a great mindset on this. If you haven't yet watched the New Agent Chronicle, she tells this story in a recent one. She reframed it in her mind and she said, you know, I knew every failure was a future success. And I was like, oh, I love that. So good. So there's lots of ups and downs when you start. But so Alicia, you were using the analogy of the peony, right? Like tell that story again.
So peonies are a beautiful spring flower. We see them, and you buy them, and they look like they bloom, and they bloom on a bush. And what happens is you get them as a seedling, you plant them. It takes like 5 years to get your first bloom. Like you'll have this, it just looks like a bush for the longest time because my mom was like planted them. And I was like, what are those things? And she goes, they're peonies. It just takes 5 years. And now like they bloom beautifully every single year, like the most beautiful, and they're like this big. They're gorgeous blooms.
Joey, yeah.
And they're just absolutely stunning. It's just like a big oak tree, right? You plant a seedling, it takes long, long time. But when it grows, the roots are so thick. I mean, they can take a house down. They can knock out septic systems, you know? And every fall, those dang on acorns fall. Every fall, like, you know, it's like blooming like acorns everywhere. So some of our lead sources are like that. They have deep roots and they will feed you for life, right? But you just got to take care. You got to water it, sunshine.
You have to say what
Yes.
you said pre-show, what you
Pre-show. Oh yeah. So like you know, Zillow lead would be like when you know when you go to Lowe's and they have the little things they're already blooming and the little planters
and
and
then they
you know,
die.
they're little annuals and you plant them and they're pretty for like a season and then they die. That would be like an online lead that you have no rapport with. You may get a quick hit, like a little heroin hit, and it's like feels great. And then you get another heroin hit and you're chasing after these transactions. But unless you build that deep relationship of like trust and learn to ask the referral from that experience, then it doesn't work out that way. Right. So I've gotten incredible relationships built from all different lead sources, but I took the time to build the relationship during the transaction, throughout the transaction, before, after, during, after, and expanding the roots long, way past just closing the deal and moving on to the next.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But I
Right.
think also is you can't plant just one crop. So
Yeah.
you need those little quicker ones. But if you're going to build a sustainable business, and that's what this whole podcast is about, is teaching you how to do that, is you have to play the long game and continuously sow the seeds so that you have a bountiful harvest in the future. That's why the 20-year agents who are actually really good at what they do, they don't have to be out there with online leads and doing the hokey dancing on TikTok stuff, because they have deep roots built in their communities. They have nurtured and grown relationships for 20 years. And it's self-sustaining at that point. And that's what the agents who've been licensed just since 2020, it feels hard right now because in 2024, fewer homes were sold than in 1995. And there's a million more licensed agents. So yeah, 2024 was hard.
Yeah.
Okay, do more work, plant more seeds.
But welcome the hard, because I think you have to understand what different markets feel like, right?
Yes,
So you have to understand what different weather feels like. You have to know, like, where, how do you prepare yourself for those things that may happen? Because there's no such thing as like just hanging out. And anyways, if it was like that, it'd be boring. And I guarantee you, most people would be like, I'm
Right.
out. This is stupid. It's not challenging. I'm not growing. It's not fulfilling. So like the
Right.
whole point of these people that stayed long, that are long 20, 20, 30-year agents, they've seen all of the markets, they've withstood all of those. So they don't get frazzled when something happens. They go, okay, we're just going to go this way now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like understanding how to set your sail to blow the way you need to blow, and understanding how to shift in the storm. And that's all it is. And I think if you get frazzled because one thing goes wrong, it's just like in a deal, if you want to bring it down to hyper focus, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is going wrong. I'm like, well, there's a solution, I promise you. Like, you just got to find it. And that again shows the client, why do I have someone helping me?
Yeah.
Because they understand better than I do. And they, part of what we do is being therapists. We know that because they're freaking out and they have no one else to talk to, because no one in their
Yeah.
family wants to hear about it anymore. So they got to talk to us. So that's kind of some of the things too, is like that's part of what we do. And as agents, and agents that understand, like those long-term ones that you mentioned, also give back to their communities. They don't just take. And so if you're someone that wants to be a pillar of the community, then be the pillar. Don't always be like, I want to sell your house. I want to sell your house. It's like me, 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 me. What are you giving to your community and your people so that the law of reciprocity works for you? That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
'Cause like Deborah does a ton
and
of
I
stuff for
think
her
you
community,
said
you know?
the mindset part of it. It's
Yes.
the being frazzled because you're not seeing instant fruit.
Mhm.
We have all heard the term commission breath. It
Yes.
comes across as I need a paycheck, and
Yeah.
that's how it leaks out to your clients.
Yep.
But the confidence comes from, I don't know where my next deal is coming from, but I know that I've listened to my coach and I'm doing the things. And the
Yeah.
lead measures are, you're nurturing your database, you're making your calls, you're out in the community, you're giving back, you're helping. Raise your hand to help senior agents. If you're new and you don't know what to do, why not ask a senior agent? Do you need help putting out open house signs? Could I tag along and work your open house with you? Oh, wait, you don't want to do the open house? Can I do it for you?
Yeah.
There are opportunities everywhere, and those lead measures give you the confidence to know that, you know what, I have nothing pending right now, but I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna get dressed and be ready for work at 8 a.m. every day, because when I do the things, the reward, the consequences come. There is,
It's like that law, the law in the laws of success, get in the habit of doing more than you're paid,
yeah,
Yes.
be paid triple.
Yes. You know,
yeah,
it reminds me too of, I was just talking to you guys about, I'm listening to Mo Anderson's book. It's called A Joy-Filled Life. And Mo
oh,
Anderson is one of the original founders of the Keller Williams franchise. And I mean, her story is
she
very
created the
inspiring.
bold trainings as
She
well.
did. Yep,
Yes,
yep.
like
So she
amazing
talks
woman.
about, yeah, she's really amazing. And I mean, lots of ups and
Hmm.
downs in her story. I mean, she had it all, lost it all, got it back, but late in life. So she shows you that, you know, if you keep persevering for a long period of time and keep your heart and head in the right place, anything is possible for you. One of the stories she tells is she has a chapter called Do the Right Thing. And it talks about the fact that when she was a young agent, she got a call from, I think it was like in the office call to go show a house. And so she goes, she meets these people, you know, this was before the days of having a signed buyer agency agreement ahead of time. She goes and just meets them out there at the house to show them the house. She shows them the house. They're
Hmm.
like, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy this house. And they're like, she's like, oh my gosh. And she was at a point in her career where she was like looking for a sign that she should stay in it because it had been such a tough road for her to that point. And she goes back and she starts to write the offer, and the people come in, they're like, you know what? I think they may have called her actually before they came into the office. They said, you know what? We've been actually working with this other agent and we really think that we owe it to her to do this. We appreciate you showing it. And she was like, am I too young? And what did I say to, turn them off? Or what did I do? It was all like, what did she do wrong kind of thing. And she very graciously said, I understand. I wish you the best. I hope it works out for you. And the other agent was this very seasoned older agent. And so they went to her and said, well, can you write the offer? And so then like a few hours later, after she sort of had been crying in her soup for a little while, she got a call and from this other agent. The other agent said, they came to me and said, we'd like you to write this for us. We've been working with you. And she said, absolutely not. She said, Mo showed you the house. You need to go through Mo to buy this property. And she's like, I never forgot that. And she said that was the sign that I was supposed to stay in this business. And she would have like gotten out of the business had that not happened for her. And so she did. She wrote the offer. I have no idea whether there was a share of commission or referral fee or whatever, but whatever it was, she was able to assist that client through the transaction. I think it was like the third transaction of her whole career. And she was like, it showed me that it's doing the right thing is always the thing that's going to bring you something back in the long run. She's always thought like now I'm paying that forward for the rest of my career, what that agent did.
Think about how many people she impacted by creating, by getting excellent at what she did and continuously giving back. And just by creating that training that so many Keller Williams agents have been through with the BOLD program, it's an amazing kickstart to anyone's career. And I don't even know if you have to be Keller Williams to participate in it. It's a fantastic kickstart, but her dedication to her craft and to the community of real estate professionals, like we've all benefited from that. And the listeners, the next contributor of that level could be you, like whoever's listening.
Yeah. So true. So true. Yeah. 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 So when you have a situation as a team leader or as a coach, when you have somebody come to you, I have somebody in my schedule right now who was going through a really hard time and was in a place where really like felt like everything was working against her and really got herself into a place of like, I kind of felt like almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where it was like a constant cycling of this kind of negativity. What do you do when somebody comes to you and they've just gotten themselves into a place where they believe that the universe is conspiring against them to be successful?
Well, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're always right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a total jerk if I am. Alicia, you go. Because the mindset is the one thing. You cannot control anything in real estate except your mindset. Like period.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't control mortgage rates, you can't control inventory levels, you can't control buyers, certainly. You can only influence your sellers. Like there's so many things that are out of our control, but the one thing that you have 100% ownership over is how you show up every day.
It's true. And I'm going to say it's when you're in that space, it's hard. I mean, it's easier said than done, I think, to like pull yourself out of that space sometimes.
I think that's what makes us great. And that's what makes us human. And you're allowed to have days like that. We all have days like that. I had a day like that was it this week? I think it was this week. I forgot about it. It feels like this week's an eternity. It was Monday. And it just was one of those, was it this Monday? It was last Monday. I don't know. It was a Monday.
Last week, yeah.
And I just felt like, I think I texted you ladies and I was like, this is a bad day.
You did. And the thing is though, you reached out to your network of your fellow agents and friends who lift you up. So for an agent who is struggling and can't pull themselves out, then you've got to look at what you've got going on in your life.
What do you surround yourself around?
Who are you surrounding yourself
with? What are you
with?
listening to? What are you reading? Who are you exposed to? Who's your partner?
And what's your routine?
Yeah.
What's your morning routine? What's your evening routine? What's your exercise?
Sleeping.
You are not, every one of us, hear me, I'm really not such a jerk that I don't understand, because we have all been there. But what makes us great is that we have learned the habits and the tricks to pull ourselves out of it. We don't wallow in it for lengthy periods of time. And things happen, bad days happen. but
Yeah.
you have to know, you got to know what medicine to take when that bad day shows up. Hey, it's raining and your appointment's just canceled and whatever.
Mhm.
The triggers for having a bad day will become less when you care, when you know how to care for yourself and you have those good habits. Good habits insulate you from the gray bad days.
If you're interested in learning how to become that go-to local real estate expert all the sellers call to give you their listings, read Farming for Real Estate Agents. You can pick up your copy today on Amazon, Kindle, on Audible, or anywhere you get books. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
things happen, right? Things happen that, like she said, you can't control. Like when that guy stole my sign, I started laughing hysterically because I was like, well, mofo was planning it because I just put it in the ground like at 7 o'clock. And then by 10 o'clock, it was gone. I was like, I bet he was out there watching. And Michael and I were laughing. We're like, what a loser, man. He was just, those things are heavy, walking around these heavy signs, like trying to hide it. Like, and someone might catch you. Like, someone to think to do that, like, that's the biggest loser of all. And I just laughed. I said, oh, well. And then I got a 60% off to order more signs. So I just ordered more signs. And I said, ha ha. And I put the sign in the window. I said, what you going to do now? And, you got to just laugh things off. I think a year or 2, 3 years ago, that would have really put me in a tizzy.
Mm,
And so I think recognizing too, when you do have growth, because you're going to grow over time, we're all just like
yeah.
having our little baby steps. And sometimes we go 4 steps back and forth. Have you ever seen that thing where you like, that's what life is? It's like back, it's like that dance of like, oh my God, I thought I already been through this. Why am I doing this again? And then, then we're going to do it
Because you have
again.
more to learn. Yes.
Yeah. And then you go, but then
Learn
sometimes you go back and then sometimes you propel forward even
Yes.
more
Like a
from that
slingshot.
going back again.
You have to pull the slingshot back
Yes.
to
So
get the
true.
force you need to go
So
further.
I always say this now. I have a new mantra, and I think mantras help you. I'm like, this is happening for me. Even though I
Mhm.
don't like it, it's happening for me. Thank you so much, God. And and then sometimes just changing your state, right? That's the biggest thing. Physical state, go work out, go talk to someone, go listen to something that makes you laugh. What's your hype song? Like, I know yours is Black Betty. So listen to the Black Betty and it changes your state. Warn the people around you that you love so they don't piss you off, which I did. Out of courtesy, I just want to let you know, mama's having a bad day, so just stay away. And they all stayed away. And they kind of knocked on the door and came in and gave me a hug. And they said, I hope you feel better tomorrow, mom. I said,
Aw.
tomorrow's a new day. Thanks, honey. And I just let it be. And the next day was great. But I think giving yourself a space and breathing space is okay too. But it's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't define you. That's the problem is people sit there and they think that bad moment is like a badge you have to wear your whole life
Mhm, mhm.
and they think it's forever. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that? Like when something bad happens, you just
Yeah.
sign that as like, this is forever. Like I suck forever. No,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
signing your deal.
Right. Right.
You're
And I
the
mean,
listing.
you are human, so you're going to feel an emotion, but also realizing an emotion is not who you are. An emotion is
No.
just something that's happening and it always passes. And I think what you're articulating too, both of you, is that as we grow, these become easier things to get over. It's like what felt like that mountain that you were climbing to begin with. You're like, oh, that's just a little hill now. Like, because you've been through it a billion times and it doesn't feel like such
And
a hurdle.
agents who are new and feeling those feelings need to have friends in real estate that were agents in 2007, 8, 9, and 10.
Yes.
Those are the agents who can tell you stories and just understand that
Yeah.
it's the business and it's not you. Like Alicia said, it's not your identity. It's
Right.
if you make it your identity, it will become your identity. But
Right. Right. Yeah, and Alicia, you said something that I thought was so impactful before as well. You said, be grateful for what is there, right? So I think sometimes that's the other thing, we start to focus on what's missing or what we're not getting versus what is there. So talk about that. What did you mean by that?
I think that is the whole concept of what people talk about your gratitude list
Mm,
and really just start running through things that are working for you, right?
yeah.
All the things that are good. So sometimes you think about like, I have a client, his wife has lupus and she's in a wheelchair.
Mm,
So, okay, I don't have that. So thank
mm,
you. Right.
mm,
Things like, I know it sounds horrible, but it's like we have so much we sit there and complain about,
yeah.
and we have running water. At one point, I didn't have clean water in Richmond. Remember when we had the water thing and I had to text you guys and say, we don't have
Not
clean
that
water.
long
This is a
ago.
bunch of crap. Be thankful for your water. And the
Totally.
well water people were making fun of us because we always make fun of the well water, right? So I make light of these things, but there's so many things that we should be grateful for that, like, I have three beautiful children. Some people are begging, would love to have a child. You know,
Yeah.
I have an amazing husband, but sometimes I want to punch him in the face. But I have a partner that supports me and loves me and helps me. You know, that's great. And some people don't have that, or they're getting the crap beat out of them. Like things like that, that I think I don't have to worry about being in a place of fear physically, like these
Yeah.
war-torn countries. We live in the US. We live in the greatest country in the world. And I don't care what people say about it, but it is true. I came here from Korea. My parents came here for opportunity. I don't care who you say to who, this is the greatest country in the world. That's hands down. And anybody that wants to say otherwise, that's the cool thing is you have the right to say that in this country and no one bothers you. So that's
Yeah.
great. But that's my feeling on it. Like I've seen the opportunity come in my entire family and my lineage will change forever because of that. And so I think there's so many ways that we can look at things. And I think life is happening for you always, even in the painful. Sometimes you have to learn the hard stuff. Sometimes you have to fall down and scrape your knees to get stronger. Muscle grows from when you tear it. So sometimes it's the painful pieces that make us grow the most. I think all
Yeah.
three of us have grown the most from the most painful pieces in our lives, right?
Oh, oh, definitely.
And I
Yeah.
think when you look back on that,
And
always,
that growth happens faster when you own it and you
yes,
surround yourself with people
yes,
who are forward thinking, that don't let you wallow and look behind, because what happened behind you is what made you great today and will propel you into the future. So
so there's
if the
nothing to be
people you're
regretful.
surrounding yourself with are not forward thinkers and they are not lifting you up and fueling the energy and fueling your growth, then you're with the wrong people. And
Yeah.
That's it. That's the key. When
There
I
you go.
said, who are you surrounding yourself with?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
think about that. Layla Hormozy talks about that, and you will outgrow people in your life, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're better than them or they're not in your life anymore, but it's okay to be in different groups and different rooms.
It is. And I've been talking about plugging our ecosystem a lot, but that's, I mean, one of the reasons that the Tom Ferry ecosystem is so impactful to all of us who belong to it is just sometimes by going to those events,
Mm.
you get in, like you just said, a room with people who not only are going through the same kind of things that you are, but you get exposed to new ideas, you get inspired, you get to contribute as well. And it keeps us from feeling alone and like wallowing in the day to day. It gives us solutions to work toward and gives people to celebrate with and commiserate with and all the things in different ways, and gives you, if you can find your people, like you can find a tribe of people within a system like this because it's so large that you mastermind with, or us, that's how we all met, is through that ecosystem, trying to figure out solutions to the business challenges that we had. And as it's turned out, it's business challenges and personal challenges and a path of growth that we all happen to be on together in different phases and different ways, and lifting each other and ourselves up through it. It's so vastly important to be a part of something like that. I think if you're going to get to a place of fulfillment and success, certainly true success in this industry.
I think it also goes to say when you say that, and I think Deb, you also agree with this, is that everything we're talking about, why the people are freaking out is they're in a scarcity place. They believe there's not enough. When you truly believe there's not enough or something's bad or it's negative, you can't get up. It's like that. You can't get enough water in you. So that makes sense because it's
Yeah.
just, you don't feel like there's enough. So I'm going to keep this because it's not enough to share. And it's a really dangerous place to be because when you hoard things and when you feel like there's not enough to share, you're also restricting yourself from absorbing and growing, and you're restricting the love you can give to others, which will then again help you grow. And I think that ultimately, when it comes down to it, the world is so abundant. The evidence shows again and again and again. It's like what you choose to focus on. Just like Mr. Rogers said, look for the people that are helping, right?
Look for the helpers, yeah.
Instead
you
of the
just quoted Mr.
disaster.
Rogers. That's awesome.
I love that. He always said that in a time of crisis, look for the people that are helping. There, that shows you the human spirit and the resilience and the love that's in
Yeah.
the world. And if
And
you focus
yeah,
on that,
and
it's
you have to
beautiful.
be responsible for
Yes,
finding what you need to restock your mind and your heart.
yes, yes.
So Jay Shetty said this thing where like if you open your refrigerator and there's nothing in there, you're like, oh, I need ketchup, I need eggs, I need milk. You go to the store, you get them, and you
Yes.
come back and it's restocked. We have to do that with ourselves as well. If you need exercise, okay, I need that. If I need healthy food, I need that. If I need skills built in listing presentations, I need to go get that. I can't sit around and complain about not getting listings when I haven't put in the work to learn how to be a good presenter, how to convert. If I need, whatever you need is available to you. And if you don't have it, go get it.
That's
Yes.
perfect. It's
Be
out there.
resourceful.
It's for the taking. You just
Like
don't.
restocking the milk. Just go
Yep.
go to the store and
If you
get
need to take, if you need to take a nap, sleep.
right.
A lot can be cured with a good night's rest, a good meal, and laughing and going to the beach. Like for some reason, salt water fixes a lot, and a good cry. You know, a shower, a good cry, and you wake up and you're like, it's okay now. I
But
just need
you
to
need that.
release
That's
that.
in your
You
tool
know?
belt. Like
Yeah.
your tool
Yeah.
belt includes things like that. If you have a crappy day, you know what? I'm just gonna go home, take a shower, get a good night's sleep, eat something healthy, and start fresh tomorrow. If you know, because experience has taught you, these things will refresh me, then
You have
I
a
mean,
clear
you can
head.
make 100
Yeah.
calls, nobody picks up. You're like sitting at the desk going, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You get up and go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, it's like
do
that thing that
something.
say that Brendan Burchard says that you shouldn't be working like some people are trying to push through. Your
Yeah.
mind needs breaks. You need to take a break. You need to give refresh. You need to reset. It's like our computers that jam up and our phones that jam up, and they're machines. Like we are the greatest machine that God ever made that we don't even understand half of why it works, but it just does. So sometimes we need to like disconnect and like erase and like reset ourselves. That's
Yes.
normal.
Yes.
Like
So good.
people, I think that some of these agents are, they don't understand the long game. They're just going, 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 and then they burn out and fizzle out. And then they're like, I give up
They're the
right
same ones
before.
that need their clients to buy or sell a house.
Yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
That
that
is
market
not why
growth,
we're
right?
here. That those same agents are the ones that are dependent and they need something from the client instead of being
Focusing on what
wholeheartedly
can I give to
full
the
of
client and
hers.
showing up. How can I
Yeah.
serve you in your
Yeah.
time? Yep.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to give you guys two other quick things. I know we're going a little long, but this has been so good. One is if you get into that place where you're feeling like you're just going, 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 and maybe you have your head in the wrong place, or your priorities a little bit upside down. Like you guys said, take a break, and sometimes like a little mini vacation. Fully agree with you, Alicia. Some salt water does a world of good. But getting out of your normal routine and away for even like a couple of days, suddenly you can see things from like a bird's eye view in a different way, and your mind will clear. Oh, there goes my thumbs up for some reason. And then you're able to get a sense of like space and clarity that you don't have otherwise. The other tool is I know people, we do talk about gratitudes and things like that, and I know people feel different ways about like writing gratitudes, but one of the things I've been working with is what I call a book of evidence. I don't call it that, actually. A coach I work with calls it that. So this was really her idea. And the book of evidence is every time something like falls into your awareness or into your life that gives you evidence that you're moving in the right direction. Like this is the climb again, right? Like you're on the mountain and you see like that little daffodil poking its little head up, right? Like that would be something you write down in your book of evidence. Or maybe you have a good conversation with somebody, or even you walk outside and you see a beautiful sunset, right? That's like a part of what you can put into your book of evidence. Same kind of concept of gratitude, but it just shows you, it's little milestones that show you that you're moving in the right direction.
And
And
it's
as
not all about you.
it's not at all about you. It's about everything but you, right? And that's what you put in that book of evidence. And that sometimes can be the thing that builds and builds and builds into the eventual destination that you can't see right now, but you will.
And for somebody who says like the default is going to be like, I don't have any money, I can't go take a couple of days off and go somewhere. I understand you haven't sold anything. You can't afford that. But what you can do is you can go for a walk.
Yeah.
You can go for a hike. You can put your
I'm gonna
headphones
stay at your
on.
friend's house.
Yeah,
That
well,
feels like a
and listen to
vacation.
something inspirational, like where you find your inspiration. You know, for me, it's Jesus, yay. But for you, whatever you find inspirational should be your go-to place. And but the thing is, the habit of doing that before you get to complete burnout, you have to be aware enough to recognize that you need a moment. And it's that's the key here. And that's a maturity that comes with time. And the
Yeah.
maturity only comes after you screwed up a few times. So if you've already got a few screw ups under your belt, good for you. You're ready for the next step.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna give you one more quick one that seems to do a world of good is writing a note of kindness to somebody else. Put it in the mail, one or two, and that will change your whole state. Because let me tell you, as a recipient of those notes, sometimes it is like the most delightful thing in the world to get somebody, the person thought about you, you actually made an impact in their lives. So in a similar way, get out a piece of paper or a little card and a pen and an envelope. And it doesn't have to be to a client, it could be to anybody that has had an impact on your life. Just write a quick little note of gratitude, put it in the mail, and you will see that your mental state changes almost instantly.
Absolutely. Wayne, the late great Wayne Dyer said, when I change the way I look at things, the things I look at changes.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. Well, I think we will end it on that note. This was a great one, guys. I hope everybody took a little something or many little somethings away from this, and that if you do get in that state, you listen to this one over and over again so that you can get yourself turned around on the right path. Enjoy that climb to that destination that you can't yet foresee for yourself. Thank you for joining us. As always, please leave us a review or like or a rating on the platform that you are listening to. Ask us a question or send us a show idea. We are so very grateful to have you in our audience. Alicia and Deb, thank you so much. As always, this has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.